Welcome everyone, I am DJ Fogey and this is another episode of my Dwarf Fortress tutorial. We got a few things I want to talk about in this episode, but first, if you're just getting into the game, I advise you to go back to the first episode and watch them straight through, as I do share a lot of information. Okay, to start off, what I'm going to be doing is building a bunch of traps. As well, I'm also going to unlock all this. I'm going to let this be mined out just for future endeavors. So yeah, I'm going to do that right now actually. And if you notice, I have this hallway here, and you see the three sets of doors here, here, and here, as well as the fourth right here. Well, I'm going to mirror that on the other side. But if you notice the way it's set up right now, there's that wall right here that is not designated to be mined out. And once I designate that, these two blocks right here, these two tiles, they will be mined out. You will be able to see them. And as well, down here, where I mine out right here, and right here, as well as right here, those will also open it up so my miners can get in there and mine the rest of this out. So I'm going to hit D for designation, D for mine, and I'm just going to go ahead, use my mouse, and designate these two to be mined. And then I'm going to go over here and line it up with these doors. So I'm going to be right here and right here, and then here and here. Oops, not there, not there. Dang it. X. There we go. Now let me just make sure I'm in the right spot here, straight down. And this one and this one. Oops. Now I'm making mistakes here. Okay. Anyways, right here. And also right here. And right here. And there we have it. That's basically going to open up the entire area for them to be able to get into and mine out. And I think I wanted to mine these out as well. So we'll let that get done for the center. Another thing that I have planned for this episode is I'm going to have to wait a bit because I do have some mechanisms available. I'm going to start making traps for my entrance. And another thing is I believe I'm going to start designating this dining room to be smoothed out. And I'll show you how to do it all. So let's get started with the traps because I already do have some mechanisms. And by the way, if you want to build mechanisms, it's the same thing. You need a mechanic shop, but it's the same thing as designating a task for any building. So you hit Q, highlight the building, hit A for add new task, and for a mechanics workshop I hit T to make rock mechanisms, which I've already done, and then you hit R on that task to repeat it as many times as you need it. So I'm going to go back up here to the top, and I'm going to start building traps along this corridor here. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to hit B for building, capital T, hold down shift, hit T for traps. And then I want cage traps. Cage traps to me are a little bit, they don't kill the enemies at all, and which also enables you to do a lot of fun stuff with the enemies, with those creatures. So I like to build cage traps. Now you're more than welcome to try different types of traps. You'll just need different things other than cages to be able to build those. So anyway, you select your cage trap and select the spot you want to put it in. Hit enter twice because it's going to ask you. I'll show you again. C for cage trap right here. Move down one, hit enter. It'll ask you what mechanism you want to use. Hit enter again, and there you go. That is it. And then you can fill this whole area, an entire area, up with traps. Now, the thing about cage traps is you need cages to fill those traps. Because once the trap is built, the trap is there, but the problem is, why is it not? Oh, there's already one there. Okay. But anyways, once you build these cage traps, you need cages to load into the traps. Now the traps will get built without the cages, they'll just keep on canceling the task to load the trap with a cage until you have enough cages. See, now I just ran out of mechanisms. As you can see, needs mechanisms. So that's pretty much all I can build right at the moment. And to build cages, I'm going to go down here to my carpenter's workshop right here at the top. I'm going to add a task, hit A, and then if you look down here it says wooden cage, make wooden cage. I'm going to hit J, and then I'm going to hit R to repeat it, so my carpenter will come down here and start building me cages to fill up those traps. Also, I can go ahead and unpause, and my miners should get busy working on the hallway here, which will also lead them into digging out all these rooms and things like that. But also, I think I've already showed you how to make bedrooms. I've also started laying out more beds and more doors. As you can see, pretty much this entire upper area has doors available now. Oh, there they go. Now they're starting to dig it all out. And again, they're going to leave the stones behind, but this is not critical. This is not going to be a stockpile, so all I need to do is hide these stones that are sitting around. I don't need to put them in a dump or anything like that. Let's see, what else can we do? I'm going to go ahead and pause until they get this done, cleaned out right here, and then I'll show you a couple more things. So talk to you in a second, guys. Okay, they're not yet finished clearing out the new food storage yet, but I realized there was a couple of things that I wanted to show you. One of which is meat. For meat, you have to slaughter animals for meat, and like this donkey over here, maybe these yak or whatever bulls out here before they go dying on me from hunger. But I wanted to show you a couple of things about getting meat for your dwarves. One of the things you need to pay attention to whenever you're going to create like a butchery shop and things like that is that sometimes your butcher will butcher meat and leave stuff behind inside the shop. And that stuff can go rotten and create miasma, which is a problem. So you always want to have those kind of shops, like your butchery shop and your tanner for leather, in a different location, away from anywhere that might get in the way of your dwarves' happiness. So what I'm going to do is, since this is the stairwell that goes right down into my food storage, I'm going to go down one level from the top level, and I'm going to designate out an area right here for basically meat processing. And I'm going to make a little hallway so that I can put doors in there. Okay? And then I'm going to make a fairly decent size room just so everything can fit in there. That's good enough. But anyways, what this room is going to allow me to do is put doors right here to get into the entrance. And then I'm going to put my tanner and my butchery shop in here and keep these doors closed at all times. Now, I'm going to allow certain dwarves to go in here, but that way if my butcher or my tanner leaves something laying around in the shop and doesn't put it in its proper stockpile, and this stuff does create miasma, this miasma will not go past the doors. It will not enter into the rest of the fort and disturb any other dwarves, besides the two that have to go in there. Okay, and when it does, I'm not counting on that fact because it may not happen. You know, they may just take care of the stuff that would create miasma and put it out in the refuse stockpile out here. And this is another thing that I wanted to show you. Your refuse stockpile has to be outside. If it's not outside, the refuse will rot and it will create miasma. And being outside, if you get invaded, you need to keep all your dwarves inside, which means they have no access to this stuff. So what I'm going to do is create a corridor, basically, out in front of my entrance. And this corridor is going to have a sort of enlarged area outdoors. All it's going to be is a wall. but it's going to be a sort of an enlarged area up here probably for my refuse. That way it's outside, and I'll put another gate out here as well to close it up. And so there will be two gates to enter into my fortress. And let me go ahead and I will designate that, but let me show you how to build it. First off, you need to hit B for building. I think it's capital C for to get to the walls, and you want to build a wall. And I'm going to go ahead and build that. Oops, I need to designate the size here. Remember, it's U, M, K, and H for sizing up the wall. So I'm going to go K a bunch of times, and I'm going to get past that little lip right here in the mountainside. So I'm going to build that wall right here. We'll build it out of some, yeah, dacite is good. And it takes 1 stone for each section of the wall, so you'll want to hit enter a bunch of times. You can also hit shift enter, which will just choose all of them, and I'll show you that in just a second. Let's go ahead and hit W again, and this time I'm going to go vertical. Make it as long as I can, go up a couple there, and if I hold shift and hit enter, actually, go down to the, first off you want to choose what you want to make it out of, hold shift, hit enter. There you go. You don't have to hit enter a bunch of times. Then I'm going to create another wall right next to this. So go K for horizontal wall there. Hit enter, choose my dacite, shift enter. There we go. I'm going to do it probably a little bit longer here on the side. So let's go K a few times. Enter, select my dacite, shift enter. This is quite a big task here, but you know how to do it. I'm going to pause and then design this out and explain it to you, so I'll be right back. Okay, here it is. This area up here will be my refuse pile, and I made it quite big so that I could fit everything in there. Then we have another corridor here, which I will block off with another drawbridge, just like this one, right here. That way I can close this up, and the only creatures that can get in here are creatures that can fly. So we don't have to worry about other creatures as well. And also I made this longer corridor right behind where the gate is going to be for more traps. And I can also set up more traps right here as well. That way I've got 3 layers of protection here. I can also leave a small area somewhere around in here for dogs. I can attach dogs in there, so they have to, I can detect like any creatures that are sneaking. So dogs are a good thing to have. They will detect sneaking creatures if you place them in the right place. If you force anybody that wants to come into your fortress into a narrow corridor and cover that corridor with dogs, they will be detected, so it doesn't matter. The last thing I wanted to show you is the switch right here. Now this switch controls my bridge, my drawbridge here. Well, I want that switch to be somewhere where a lot of my dwarves are going to be hanging out most of the time. And that would be kind of an obvious decision to make. So I'm going to go down here to my dining room, where I am going to place the switches that control everything in my fort. Every time I place a bridge, another switch will be placed in this room. That way I can call all of my civilian dwarves into this room whenever there's a problem, like an invasion or something like that, and I can easily have any switch that controls like a gate or a bridge pulled without having to worry about them going way up here to the top and exposing themselves to anything that might already be in the fortress. So keep that kind of strategy in mind and you should be safe. And again, how you build a switch is I'm going to hit escape here. I'm going to hit B for building, capital T for trap, and I want a lever, so hit L for a lever. Right now I don't have any mechanisms. I need to make some, but remember, this is how you build a lever. You build it, and then you use the Q, just like I showed you in the last, I think it was 2 episodes ago, how to hook it up to a bridge. You do the exact same thing with these. And you can do multiple levels. You can put a switch as far away from a lever as you want to, really. Or a lever, or a bridge, I'm sorry, excuse me. A bridge as far away from as you want from that lever and it will still work. So don't worry about how far away the lever actually is. Anyway, that's pretty much all that I wanted to cover in this episode. In the next episode, I'll be showing you setting up this stockpile for food, as well as moving stockpiles, moving items from one stockpile to another. And I'm going to set up my my little meat industry here. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode.